Hi guys, welcome to CounterPoints. My name is Connor, and today we're going to be breaking down Helsreach. It is the first and most classic of fan animations of the Warhammer universe, and it is a true work of art. While the hand-drawn animation can be jarring at first, it does evolve with the emotions of our protagonist and tells the important story of Reclusiarch Grimaldus, the hero of Helsreach. It explores the challenges of being a space marine and might give you some unexpected feelings as well as deliver satisfying violence. This episode is brought to you by Mastermind Models and Miniatures and Hawkins & Company. Mastermind Models and Minis is an insanely talented paint studio out of Huntsville, Alabama who do commissions, so if your pile of shame is weighing you down, be sure to check them out in the description below and be sure to tell them that we sent you. Hawkins & Company is a veteran-owned leather-making firm using the best American-made materials to create the finest handmade wallets available. Coming in classic bifold, trucker, and biker builds, with a variety of patterns and insignias, all made from leather sourced from one of America's last tanneries. So if your Velcro wallet is starting to show its age, buy a rugged, beautiful, American-made piece of art from Hawkins & Company and use coupon code CounterPoints for 15% off.
I will die on this world. I cannot tell where this conviction comes from. Whatever birthed it is a mystery to me, and yet the thought clings like a virus, blooming behind my eyes and taking deep root within my mind. It almost feels real enough to spread corruption to the rest of my body, like a true sickness. It will happen soon, within the coming nights of blood and fire. I will draw my last breath, and when my brothers return to the stars, my ashes will be scattered over the priceless earth of this accursed world. Armageddon. Even the name twists my blood until burning oil beats through my veins. I feel anger now, hot and heavy, flowing through my heart and filtering into my limbs like boiling poison. My hands curl into fists. I am strong. Born only to slay for the Emperor and the Imperium. I am pure, wearing the blackest of the black, trained to serve as a spiritual guide as well as a war leader. I am Wrath Incarnate, living only to kill until finally killed. I am a weapon in the eternal crusade to forge humanity's mastership of the stars. Its strength, purity, and wrath will not be enough. I will die on this world. I will die on Armageddon.
Grimaldus's emotions make the Warhammer universe so much more rich. Oftentimes in Black Library books, Space Marines are automatons of slaughter, only taking on token personality traits from their chapters before charging into hordes of enemies to die. Their brothers die with only a footnote, and their emotions often just boil down to anger and endurance. The melancholy of the Black Templar chaplain is unusual in that we recognize that he is still human. He resents and fears his end, but like many people, he turns his fear to anger, which, to quote the much lamer Jedi from the Star Wars universe, is the path to the dark side. Fear leads to anger, anger to hate, and hate to suffering, according to them, but for Space Marines, they would say instead, do not fear, be angry. Let your anger be forged into hate. Turn hate into a weapon against your enemies and suffer, but suffer for the Imperium and the Emperor of mankind. Instead of taking a Buddhist or Stoic approach to the threats of the universe, the warriors of the Imperium accept them and channel them into their existential fight. When Grimaldus says that when he dies, his ashes will be spread on the priceless earth of this accursed world, he does not know how right he is. Armageddon was once the Orc capital of Ulanor. It was the site of many battles against the Greenskins and was the location of their ultimate defeat. This was where the Emperor awarded his son Horus the title of War Master and quit the battlefield to begin the Human Webway project. After the Horus Heresy, Krorks, which are orcs of incredible intelligence and technology, organized their race into a massive Waaagh that even threatened Holy Earth. They did so with rocks, giant moon-sized bases that they moved at whim with an unknown teleportation technology. This existential threat was fought back to the planet of Ulanor, and using the Orc teleportation technology, the Mechanicus spirited away the entire planet to be relocated and studied at their leisure without the threat of Xenos incursion. Humanity has since converted the planet into a major industrial hub, boasting many hives and manufactorums. The planet has been so industrialized that large swaths of the planet are toxic wastelands. In order to cope with the hostile environment, the Armageddon Steel Legion fights almost exclusively from their vehicles wearing gas masks. Unfortunately for humanity, their renamed planet of Armageddon still has a psychic attraction to the Greenskins, as they sense subconsciously that it is their capital homeworld. This has led to multiple incursions by both the forces of chaos and the Orcs, one of which we are now seeing.
In the holiest chamber of our ancient flagship, I lower myself to one knee and bow my head, because this is what is asked of me.
Grimaldus,
High Marshal Helbrecht intoned. His voice was a guttural rumble, rendered harsh from yelling orders and battle cries in 100 wars on 100 worlds.
we have summoned you to be judged.
I have answered the summons. I submit myself before your judgment, my liege.
Mordred is dead,
Helbrecht's voice was a deep murmur.
slain by the archenemy. You, Grimaldus, have lost a master. We have all of us lost a brother. It was the belief of Reclusiarch Mordred that upon his death, you would be worthiest of our brother chaplains to stand in his stead. His final decree was that you, of all your brethren, would be the one to rise to the rank of
Reclusiarch.
The figure inclined his head in greeting.
Arterion, we draw near to our destination. I took the liberty of readying the squad for planetfall. This world will burn. It will not be the first, nor the last. Have you seen the projections? The fleet auguries, the number of vessels in the local systems already? Yeah, I lost interest when the numbers became too high for me to count on my fingers.
Arterion snorted at his own weak jest.
We will fight and win, or fight and die. All that ever changes is the color of the sky we fight under, and the shade of the blood on our blades.
My brothers' names are Arterion, Priamus, Cador, Nerovar, and Bastilan. These are the knights that have waged war beside me for decades. We are the Knights of Squad Grimaldus. Within his veins, Cador carries the blessed blood of Rogel Dawn with what seems like weary honor. He is older than I, older by far. His decades within the Sword Brethren are behind him now. Primus is the rising sun to Cador's dusk. He is aware of his skills in the unsubtle and undignified way of many young warriors. A blade master, he calls himself. Yet he is not mistaken. Arterion is... Arterion. My shadow, just as I am his. It is rare among our number for any knight to lay aside personal glory, yet Arterion is the one who carries my banner into battle. Nerevar is the newest among us. The squad required the presence of an apothecary. In the trials, only Nerevar impressed the rest of us with his quiet endurance. Bastilan is last. Bastilan, always the best and least of us all. A leader, but not a commander. An inspiring presence, but not a strategist. Forever a sergeant, never fated to rise as a castellan or marshal. My brothers go through the same rituals of checking and rechecking. A curious sense of unease descends upon me.
The Sword Brethren, that there is talk of the High Marshal nominating you to lead a crusade.
It is my belief, not merely the wish of your fallen master, that you should take the honor we offer you now. You have waged war at my side for 200 years, Grimaldus. Will you stand at my side as Reclusiarch of the Eternal Crusade?
Yes, my liege.
I dub thee Reclusiarch of the Eternal Crusade, as a knight of the Inner Circle. Let that be the last blow you receive unanswered.
It will be so, my liege.
As it should be.
Gregorian chanting in the halls of the Black Templar flagship is likely done by chapter serfs. All chapters have human auxiliaries who help with the maintenance of their ships, equipment, and culture. Often humans who fail the trials to become Space Marines, if they survive their wounds, will become serfs. They spend their mortal lives honoring the Astartes they could not quite become. The religious overtones are intentional because while all chapters revere the Emperor as a powerful being and the pinnacle of humanity, the Black Templars openly believe him to be a god. The assembled Marines stand at present arms, a military drill position equivalent to a salute. They are honoring Grimaldus as he takes the place of Reclusiarch, the High Chaplain of the chapter. While most chapters do not see the Emperor of Mankind as a god, there is a definitive need for spiritual reinforcement. The role of the chaplain is to root out corruption and fear in the ranks and to lead their chargers into battle against the enemies of the Imperium. The arch-enemy, or Chaos, which was responsible for the death of the previous Reclusiarch, was able to corrupt half of the Astartes during the 30th millennium, causing the Horus Heresy. This was a galaxy-spanning and devastating civil war. In the wake of that disaster, the Legiones Astartes, once numbering as many as 100,000 Marines, were broken up into chapters of 1,000 warriors to make sure no single leader was able to bring the Imperium to its knees as Horus had. The Black Templars, a successor chapter to the Imperial Fist, were formed out of the most zealous of their legion, and have adopted the motifs and symbols of knights. They abhor psychers and witches and bristled against the prohibition of having more than 1,000 warriors. There was a loophole in the Codex Astartes, the organizational guide of the Space Marines, that if on crusade, a chapter could keep more than 1,000 Marines. In order to recruit and fight as they see fit, the Black Templars have been on a 10,000-year crusade, sending fleets across the galaxy to confront the enemies of humanity. Grimaldus, a melancholic but charismatic chaplain, is now Reclusiarch of the Black Templars, a peer and advisor to the High Marshal. When the High Marshal backhands Grimaldus and says, "Let that be the last blow that goes unanswered," it is a recognition of Grimaldus' station, that there is no person in the Imperium that can strike him without answer. Grimaldus' vision ends with the drop pod and his banner on fire, foreshadowing doom and haunting him. So if you like my breakdowns, like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell so you see whenever new content drops. Comment down below, and feel free to fight it out in the comments section over lore and narrative interpretations. If you can't think of anything to say, then type in comment for the comment gods. I will salute you in real life with an Aquila, but an 07 in the comments section saluting you for your service. Become a YouTube or Patreon member to help support the channel, or check out our sponsors. I appreciate you. I'll catch you in the next one. Until the end. Special thanks to Sport Brand, Andrew Coey, Flippant Hubris, Drusty, Hippopotati, Happy Rogue, Christian Stafford, Michael Cranston, Skyanon, Enclave Operator, It's Harold, Jaeger Bradley, Sir Pubert, Eagle Watch 123, Bizud, Flaccid Phoenix, TSG Comics, Fezzles, Diogenes, Crabs Go Pinch, Tazegrove, Astronaut Farmer, The Real Birdman, Soren Axelson, The One Above All, Bud123, Fondue, Deus Halcyon, Vokes, Butters, Drazar, Lucifer the Doberman, Female Escort IRL, Tango Hotel, Mitchell Johnson, Sir Liamson, John, Hoofy, Leo Whitmer, Froggy Style, Adrian, Azrael, Cole G, Grassroots Hegemon, Christian Valeris, Nain, Sir Fortesque, M. Penner, Weekend Jail, Xart Logan, and Jamila.